God, I haven't heard that one for a long time.
No, try to do that. Try to get through and play the stuff we haven't played in a while.
Lionel Richie, huh?
Yep, recorded that about the time that both Lionel Richie and Alabama went into the Alabama Music Hall of Fame.
Folks, once again, seat 2C. Circle that one.
The Breakfast Flakes podcast brought to you by the Blue Cat Bar and Grill. Next to the Roadside Event Center in Huntley. The Blue Cat. It's where it's at.
526, Mark and Paul checking in. Weird Wednesday, middle of the week. Come out and see us tonight. Canyon Creek Brewing. Be out there 5 to 7. You get signed up to win the Flakes trip. One of the hardest things for people to wrap their minds around is you only have to sign up once. You don't have to show up and fill out 87 cards so that we hope that we draw you. You sign up once, you're invited to the party, and it's that easy. And then you come to the party, and we've talked about the odds before. The odds of winning are pretty good for an all-inclusive week for two in Mexico that includes your flights, your food, your drinks, 150 the new best friends you're ever going to have. Paul, I don't really get the opportunity to do this, so I'm going to go on the air here, and I am going to thank you for helping me out. Monday last week, you read my horoscope about how I was going to be doing better with women.
Oh, yeah?
And maybe it's just, because I noticed that it seems like some gals that haven't been as friendly in the past have been more friendly lately. And sitting there yesterday having lunch, and I get a text. Now, the number's not in my phone, so I don't know who it is. Now, where are you? I said, who's this? She said, this is Shirley. We played tennis together last week in Beverly Hills.
Really?
Yeah. Well, now I'm curious. Here's the new number you gave me. Don't you remember? I said, hey, wrong number. She said, I'm sorry. Isn't this Alice's cell phone number? I'm a little confused right now. I said, no, not Alice.
Okay. First of all, a couple of things. Before you start getting excited.
Too late.
How do I put this delicately?
You've never put anything delicately.
But chances are, if the woman's name is Shirley, she is older than you.
Or not a woman at all.
Or not a woman.
This is what scams look like now, but I'm going with it.
Okay, all right.
I just checked the phone number. I realized I accidentally entered the wrong number. Hope I didn't disturb you. I said, no worries, although I'd totally kick your butt in tennis. And she says, well, you seem nice. By the way, I'm Shirley from Los Angeles. I said, I'm in Montana. We don't play a lot of tennis, but we ski a lot. She said, Montana's a beautiful city.
Gosh. Well, see, today she's Alice. Tomorrow she's Alex.
Hey.
And then the next day, back to Alice.
Right. I said, what do you do for a living? She says, I do real estate in Los Angeles, and I own a beauty and skincare wholesale company in Singapore. What about you?
In Singapore?
I thought, well.
Mark says, how you going?
Then I am an investment banker.
There you go. There you go.
So, she wanted to know how old I was. I told her she's only 35 and has investments in many areas.
Oh, I'm sure she does.
Stocks, mutual funds, bonds, short-term trading of gold option contracts.
Keep going. Did you get to the point yet where she wants your account number? Or
I went and I took a nap, so I didn't respond, and she left a couple messages. How was your day? Then I blocked her number because I don't think Shirley and I are going to work out.
Well, probably not. Well, that's good though. You're on the right path. You're on the right path, Wilson. That's funny because I found this article today. It's funny you brought that up. Australia's online dating industry has adopted new codes of conduct to keep users safer.
Okay.
They found that 3 in 4 people suffer some form of sexual violence through their dating platforms.
Wow.
Bumble, Grindr, Match Group. The platforms account for 75% of the industry in Australia. So apparently in Australia, you can't get a date, and people all go to these dating platforms in Australia. They have till April 1st to implement the changes. The platforms will detect potential incidents of online-enabled harm that demands that the accounts of these offenders then be terminated online so they can't get into the online dating system. A new rating system will show users how well they're meeting their obligations. A new rating system. That's not what I thought the rating system was going to be. Rate yourself 1 to 10. I'm a 10.
4 stars used to be different.
That's right. I'm into financial and own a series of beauty places in Los Angeles. I'm 36, 24, 36.
That's right.
I like long walks on the beach, topless, and That's what they're trying to eliminate. God. But they're trying to make it safer. Photo identification, verification, stuff like that for the online dating platforms in Australia. We know they can swim. Everybody in Australia has to know how to swim.
It's a law.
Match Group said they'll collaborate with the government to make it safer. Bumble said they hope to eliminate gender-based violence. They want to make sure the relationships are healthy and equitable and safe. There's a couple platforms that haven't signed up yet. They include these platforms: Happening, Coffee Meets Bagel, and Field. They hope the new code will enable Australians to make better informed choices about which dating apps are best and are best equipped to provide a safe dating experience.
Well, the first thing that needs to change is what you always bring up. Thank you for adding your profile and adding your high school glamour shot picture from 35 years ago.
I know.
We're going to need a current photo so we know what we're getting into.
God. I only went on one blind date my whole life, and one of my cousins fixed me up on it, and he said, "Nice gal, Paul, you're going to like her, but don't take her dancing." I picked her up, and I'm looking at the door, and I don't see anybody, and I look down, she's like 4'2", and I'm 6'4". I'm going to go, well, this'll be good. Nice gal, but that was it. Never been on an app, never online dated. Oh, it was never available, actually, when we were dating, so.
No.
You used to have to know how to talk to people. You couldn't text them. You had to have guts. You had to have nerves to ask somebody to a prom. You couldn't just use your phone. That's so easy.
Oh, God. And just like now, I got kids for fundraisers. Got my phone number from their parents. Hey, do you want to give to this fundraiser? Well, I want you to come knock on my door and sell me what you're selling.
Yeah.
I don't want to give you money through text. I don't.
We have people all the time that reach out and they'll app message us or they'll email us because they don't want to talk to us on the phone. The art of communication.
Yeah.
Gone. And when you have opening lines like we do.
When the ladies don't stand a chance.
They don't. I mean, it's over. Hey, feel the sleeve on this shirt. You know what that is? That's boyfriend material. I mean, it's nothing but success. So that's what they're doing. They're trying to clean that up a little bit.
Well, all they can do is arrange, and there's nobody there to supervise when you two meet.
But you might be onto something, Wilson. Long-distance relationship.
Yeah.
Don't have to see him all the time.
No. I can't get on your private plane to Singapore this weekend.
That's right.
I got things going on.
I mean, Sunday's football day, and I can't make it this. I mean, you may be on to something there, but that one may have been legit because she was trying to get a hold of Alice, right? Shirley?
That's what she said. Yeah.
Yeah. So she wasn't trying to find Mark. She was trying to find Alice.
Have you not worked with you for 37 years and suspicious of everything?
I know. I sleep with one eye open all the time because we have evolved in America as piece of craps. Too bad you didn't get her last name. You could have looked her up, Googled it.
Well, I could unblock her and do it.
Yeah,
but
yeah. Oh, yeah, but don't do that.
No, I'm done.
Mark, you have so many trying, to latch on to this guy. I mean, you unblock. I mean, they're going to just start coming in.
That's always been a big problem.
Hey, you want to meet me for breakfast? We can have some Pepsi and Nestle Crunch bars and talk about golfing down south this winter when I get my RV.
What?
Get ready for a spooktacular October at the Roadside Event Center. Friday, October 11th, join them for Bingo, a fundraiser for Pack the Place in Pink. Get tickets now for Dueling Pianos on Friday and Saturday, October 18th and 19th. And plan for a Halloween weekend filled with fun. The Blue Cat has fantastic food and drinks. Sushi and sliders on Sundays, Italian Night Mondays, prime rib Saturdays, and loaded Bloody Marys all weekend. The Blue Cat Bar and Grill, Northern Avenue in Huntley, just 9 miles east of the Metro Park exit.
Yeah, going over some of the stuff today. Yesterday in Billings, they had a conference on aging, and they had a little lunch for all the centenarians that are in the area. Mm-hmm. That was kind of cool. See some of these people, 105 years old. God. Had an article today on the water meeting from Monday. Some of the explanations was during the changeover, when they switched into the new billing system, they found multiple errors in transferring the data from the old system to the new program, and that led to delays in issuing monthly statements for water.
Okay.
So here's something to bring up. You have to be fair when you go into this. If you buy something or you use something, you owe the money for that.
Right.
All right, that's all there is to it. Now, if they missed a bill or you noticed that the bill was way low, do people call and say, you missed billing me for the month?
No, they don't.
No, they don't.
No.
There are no honest people in this world anymore. All right. What they do is they hope and dream about them forgetting about that charge, or they messed up and maybe it won't. And then if they do correct it and it shows up, then all hell breaks loose.
Right.
All right. I've had that happen millions of times in billing or something. They forgot to add something. They usually find it, and I know I owe it. You pay it. They were trying to make sure the bills are accurate before they went out. So the city started sending out combined invoices in September. Most of the customers then were billed for 60 days, okay, of water. There were 1,000 people out there that got a 90-day statement.
Okay.
All right. So that was 90 days worth of water, 3 months worth. Now, after the first 30, how many of those people called and said, I didn't get my bill. You didn't charge me for the water. Where is my sewer charge?
Possibly a few, but not many.
No. And then you get a 60 or 90-day bill. How come my water bill is so high? Many customers were concerned about the charges that were much higher than they were expecting. Obviously. The bills the city looked at had been correct. They're going to go through the current backlog of inquiries. Because water use typically increases during the summer anyway, they advise customers to compare their 60-day bills to the same months in the previous year. 60-day bills. Water, sewer, and solid waste rates also went up. Okay, they went up 7.8% this year. And here's another thing. The storm fees were taken off your property taxes, and they were put onto your utility bill.
That's what a lot of people are missing.
Yeah, so that they went off your property and onto your water. So that added an increase of about 15.5% to your water bill. One of the councilwomen said, I can imagine a lot of people feel we're trying to baffle them with a lot of information. They heard public comment, 20 people frustrated. One bill was $1,000. Her 60-day bill, no way she used 136,000 gallons of water that she was charged for. No leaks, same house, typically uses 24,000 gallons a month when her sprinklers are running. State senator said he was struck with a bill that didn't add up. So, and here's another thing. When there are so many people that have so many problems with their bill, it's going to take a long time to go through each of those accounts and check the meters and do everything in order to correct it. It just is. When you're at a restaurant and you get the wrong bill or something added, it's easily done quickly because you're maybe the only one in the restaurant at that time that has a problem with your bill. But when you have tens of thousands of customers, it's going to take a little longer. They're going to keep going through the backlog. So I wish that people in Billings and Montana and around the country would get just as mad when they see how much money is taken out of their check for taxes as their water.
Good point. But they've conditioned us.
Doesn't
that money's gone before we get it.
It doesn't bother you.
No.
You're raising hell about another $100 a month on your water, and you don't raise hell about taxes, and you keep voting for the people that raise them. That's the part that drives me crazy, because all the money's coming out of the same granary there at your home. If their cable bill goes up, they're screaming. You're You're working, folks, every day, every single day. You're working today from 8 a.m. until noon to pay your taxes. Every single day. All the work you do in the morning doesn't go to you. Then from 1 to 5, that's the money you get to keep. Just keep driving that into your head. All the work I do in the morning goes to the government, and then all the work in the afternoon, I finally get that for me and my family. And it doesn't bother people. But an extra $100 on a water bill that was... People are furious. Furious. The American now in this country that we have created is so disappointing. We've lost all our disciplines. We've lost our work ethics. We've lost our guts. We're losing our freedoms. And none of that bothers people. None of it. They don't care. But you get something like a water bill or an increase in your Netflix, and people freak. And I'm just glad that there are people out there enough to be concerned about their money that they would check on that. While other people won't. They just won't. I got too many other things to do. I'm not going to mess with that. They'll get it figured out because it's all numbers. Numbers are easy to figure out. There's a history behind those numbers, and they'll be able to get them figured out. But the way this government is going, folks, that's not the bill. Your bills, your tax, this new charge to pay for everything, buy everything, this new Marxist government that they want, all government run. This is Kamala's deal. All government run medical care, everything. I mean, all these things are going to cost, and they're going to stick it to you so bad.
On top of what they're already sticking you with.
And people, it doesn't bother them, and they vote for them, and yet they scream and piss and moan about the water bill as their congressmen, their senators, their presidents got their hand in your wallet every day for more and more and more. This longshoreman strike. This guy, folks, who runs the longshoreman union, he's a mob boss, is what he is. And yesterday, he talked about what the longshoremen are going to do to you, and he's pretty much happy about it. Pretty soon, your cars won't be coming in, and everybody that sells cars, you're going to lose your job. And pretty soon, all the construction material that comes in, we're going to stop it. And guess what? All you people in construction, you're going to lose your job. And then all the retail that comes in that goes to the malls and the stores, well, pretty soon that's going to disappear. And guess what? Then you're going to lose your job. Then guess what? Then you're going to find out how important the dock workers are to this country, and we're going to get what's coming to us.
Wow.
That's what he said yesterday.
Wow.
We're going to stick it up your ass. That's what he said yesterday, folks. Now, let me ask all you union supporters a couple questions. All right? Unions in America have now become strong-armed mafia bosses. They're not concerned about working conditions anymore. There's none of us in America anymore with all of the laws on the books that have awful working conditions where you could possibly die every day because of safety concerns, inadequate machinery, stuff like this. That's what they were set up for. Now, it's gangster-like activity that strongholds you, and they all have pawns that they use against the public to drive their wages higher. Now, let me ask you union members a question out there about these dock workers. You supporting them? When you don't have groceries and you lose your job because of what they're doing, they're going to change your mind? The president and Kamala Harris are so weak on this. Once again, they're running for election. They pander anybody. They want the dock workers' votes. They want all the liberal, Nazi, little brainwashed freaking Democrats out there that are burning our colleges down, these Jew-hating kids. They want their vote. That's why they mention these Palestinian death tolls every day. They want their vote. They're not going to do anything. And you know who pays for all this? All you people concerned about your $60 extra water bill. You know who pays for all these things that the unions do to America? You do. You do. You do. Teachers walk out and they use your children, something that you really care about. They use them as pawns. Your children will not get educated. They're not going to get their class time that they need unless what? Unless you give in and give them more money. Okay? So guess who pays for that? You do. You do. All right? Pilots go on strike. Well, we're not making enough. We decided we need a 70% increase in our wages. So who pays for that? You do. It's on your ticket prices. Firemen and police, they strike. We're not going to protect your communities anymore unless we see a wage increase. Okay. You got to have protection. They got a pawn in there. So who pays for it? You do. Longshoremen going on strike, going to affect all these industries. Retail, construction, everything. And we're not going to do it until we've got this gun to your head. And until you pay, we're not moving a thing. They want a 77% wage increase. So who pays for that? You do. You do. And then you know what we do? Then we go to the voting booth and you check the box that has Democrat next to it, and they're the ones that are taking the money out of your pocket. All these liberal, Democrat-supported organizations, all of them, all supported by Democrats, supported by Harris, supported by Biden, all of them supported by them, backing all the unions all the time. And they take it out of your pocket. We're sending all this money to the Ukraine, and we have people here suffering from our hurricanes, and we're sending billions of dollars to them to fight Putin, and you can't get your house rebuilt, and now you're not going to get the supplies needed because the longshoremen on strike. Who did that to you? You're going to pay for that. Teamsters Union, railroad unions. We had the railroad. Remember, we had the railroad strike. We're going to stop freight moving across the country unless we hold the gun to your head and you give us more. And who pays for that? You do. Are you that dumb that you don't understand you're paying for all this stuff? That's why every day, the only money you get to keep every day is the money you make from 1 o'clock to 5 o'clock. You're paying for all of this stuff through your taxes. All of it. Or increased cost. Kamala Harris, Joe Biden, and Democrats. You Democrats out there, listen to this. It's time that these companies and corporations start paying their fair share. We're going to stick it right up their rear end. Great. Charge them. Take that tax rate from 21 to 28 or 35% on these business and companies. That's fine. Do it.
Get ready for a spooktacular October at the Roadside Event Center. Friday, October 11th, join them for Bingo, a fundraiser for Pack the Place in Pink. Get tickets now for Dueling Pianos on Friday and Saturday, October 18th and 19th. And plan for a Halloween weekend filled with fun. The Blue Cat has fantastic food and drinks. Sushi and sliders on Sundays, Italian night Mondays, prime rib Saturdays, and loaded Bloody Marys all weekend. The Blue Cat Bar and Grill, Northern Avenue in Huntley, just 9 miles east of the Metro Park exit.
Their business costs are covered through everything they sell. Who pays for that tax increase, Mark?
We do.
We do. We don't care. We're checking that D. That's right. And you don't get to keep any of the money that you make every day from 8 a.m. until noon. Every day. All these things. Now the dock workers holding a gun to your head. That's gonna show other unions around the country how to do it. Railroads just did it. Pilots did it. Now dock workers are doing it. Who's next? Which union's next? The Teamsters Union, the truck across America? Well, the longshoremen got it. So now if you're not an independent trucker, and we're going to do it because America relies on our truckers. Okay? Then they're going to do it. They're next. That increase your cost. All this too adds to inflation, by the way. Democrats are in charge. They've been in charge. They've had control 12 of the last 16 years.
Right.
All in charge of this. Now, let me ask you Democrats this question. Do you have confidence in all of the business experience and all of the business know-how that Joe Biden and Kamala Harris have to get an economy like this roaring and to handle things like these union strikes? Do you have confidence in them? After all, both of them have only been one thing, a government public service their whole life. They've never owned a business. They never had a lemonade stand ever in their life. They have no idea how to handle any of this. They're just government. They're just public. That's where all of their money has come from. Their entire life has come from government. Now, here's what I would do. And I'm just a dumbass farmer that sits on my tractor. All right. If I'm running the country, I implement the Taft-Hartley Act. And sure, they'll slow down their production. But I also do this. I work with every major shipping company in America, and I start rerouting their ships. I have them dock in Canada. I have them dock in Mexico. I have them dock on the west side of the United States, where we already dealt with that longshoreman strike. And I also call out our National Guard, who we call out in times of national need. I have them, are very good with logistics, equipment operation, all that. I call them out to help relieve the pressure on the ports. That's what I do. You take away some of the power then from the longshoremen. You take away their clout. We already worked out a deal with the railroads. We rely more heavily on railroads. Once the trucks and things get to the major hubs in America, we talk to President Trudeau in Canada. We use their ports up there around Nova Scotia and in that area to bring the ships in. The ones that are coming from Asia don't necessarily have to go all the way around and go to the east. They could go to the west. We can unload it there. Mexico, we have President Trump signed that new trade agreement with Mexico and Canada to make things like this easier until we can get this situation. We take away some of their power, some of their clout. Because when people start getting hungry, the longshoremen's families, and they start losing some of their power and they start losing some hope and confidence, then they're more likely to accept a contract that's reasonable. And people don't understand that you pay for all of this, all of it. And nobody worries about any of this stuff except their water bill. I got a notice yesterday from my electric company. My rates are going up 5%. Power costs more. Okay, I get it. But you know what Democrats have done? Democrats, folks, have required now that power be a certain percentage of renewable energy with every power company in America.
Right.
You know what that did to your power bill? Just like your water bill? It raised it. You voted for them. You voted for them. You know that joke Mark had about the banana yesterday? You're voting and pushing that banana further up your rectum every day. Well, it was your joke. I'm just using it. You're the one applying the pressure to that banana by who you vote for every day. They've shut down all these hydro plants. Look what they've done to coal strip and others, nuclear plants. You voted for it. Yeah, you voted for it. And they're just taking and it's costing you your power, your water. Those costs are going up. You voted for it. You vote for all that stuff. Americans, are you dumb? Do you not realize that your vote is what matters? Your vote is what determines how much money you and your family have.
And most don't look at it like that.
That's where we have become now in America. Such a huge government with such huge regulation and restrictions and laws that everything that they do, the people that you vote for those city council members. You vote for all these people. They make all these decisions that affect your wallet. We had a lady call yesterday. She gets $1,400 a month Social Security. The charges on her lot where she has her mobile home are going up. $500 a month or something. She can't afford that. Well, look at the taxes. Look what property taxes did to the people that own that property.
Because you never own it.
And Mark, what do? Where do they pass their cost on to? Those people. Just like at the stores, just like corporations, and you vote for those people, and they're the ones pushing that banana further up there every day. Power bill, same thing. They held a gun to their head. You have to have so much renewable energy now, or you can't do this or do that. Well, Northwest Energy, they can't just go out and put wind towers up and solar fields without costing them millions of dollars. They can't survive unless they increase your cost. You pay for it. Who did that to them? People you voted for. People are dumb, and nobody is taught this. They don't ever teach this in school. They don't want you to know it. I wonder how they teach kids in school about unions. We learned what unions were for. You know, we read The Jungle by Upton Sinclair. It was about the meatpacking industry in America in the 20s and how dangerous it was and why they formed those unions. Kids don't know about that. They just know that they're going to get you what you deserve. That's all they teach them now. They don't teach them you're going to pay it. You're going to pay it. It happens every day, more and more and more. And then We have incompetent people like the current administration, John Tester, others, and we send these billions upon billions of dollars to these countries, and we got people suffering down in North Carolina that can't even get drinking water. We're sending billions of dollars, billions and billions. By the way, the people that you voted for, billions and billions of dollars to Iran. And Iran attacked Israel yesterday. And now we've got our ships over there. We're helping. We're getting involved in their mess. We never had that mess, folks, 4 years ago. Why? People you voted for. They made Iran wealthy. They expanded their military hardware, their presence with Hezbollah and the Houthi rebels and the Taliban. They fund them all, provide military equipment, and they attacked our ally. You voted for those people, you know. You voted for those people that made that foreign policy decision. You voted for them, and it's costing you. And now we've got more of our brave young boys and our young girls over there in a precarious situation, and it's going to get ugly. They're going to attack Iran. There's no doubt about it. And you voted for those people. How much do you think it costs to keep an aircraft carrier running in the Middle East? You voted for them. You're paying for it. Oh, but I'm worried about my water bill. That's the one that I'm worried about. None of this other crap you're worried about. That's where I lose hope in America, because you're stupid. Cost of oil, you name it. Let's look at where we were 4 years ago. Look how you voted 4 years ago. Trump was dangerous for America. He sure as the hell was, wasn't he? We had prosperity. We had lower taxes. He lowered your taxes. We had more people, more minorities in America found jobs than ever before. Hispanics, the black population, more women in the workforce. He set all kind of records. Savings and wealth grew. Interest rates were low. We didn't have inflation in the United States. When he left office, 1.4% inflation, which experts said is actually like none when it's that low. All right? Grocery stores were full. There were no wars in the Middle East. None. Zero. No wars. That president walked into North Korea. Now they're building ballistic missiles to hit New York City. When Joe Biden was vice president and Barack Obama was president, Russia went in and they took Crimea. Remember that? They took it. Nothing was done. Trump was president. They didn't do a damn thing. Joe Biden becomes president, Kamala Harris, and what happens? They move into the Ukraine. China was put in their place. We had tariffs on China and the goods coming in. American businesses were thriving. Now what? John Deere's moved to Mexico. Ford moved more of their stuff to Mexico. We have longshoremen strikes out. They're going to shut down the economy. You want me to keep going about how it was 4 years ago and what it was now? We have 667,000 convicts that have been released in the United States. Our fentanyl deaths are up to 118,000 a year now. We didn't have that 4 years ago. We had the border wall going up. It was shutting it down 4 years ago. You like that better now? Every city in America is being overwhelmed by illegal immigrants, which is doing what? Costing you billions of dollars. You pay for that. You're paying for their education. You're paying for your phones. You're paying for their SNAP cards they're getting. You're paying for the housing that was built specifically for them. You're paying for all of that, but I'm worried about my water bill. I don't care about who I vote for. I'm worried right now about this water bill. All of that you have done with your vote. You have to wake up. All these countries, Taiwan is threatened now. They're an ally of ours. We get a lot of goods from Japan, Taiwan. They're being surrounded by the Chinese Navy. Our military has been depleted. They've cut funding out of that to move to other social programs to play for illegals. Once again, folks, you're working from 8 a.m. to noon today to pay for all this stuff that Harris, Tester, Biden, Schumer, all the Democrats in charge have all put in place. You're paying for all this every day. You're working till noon every day. You don't get to keep anything till you start at 1 today, 1 to 5. You're paying for all this. I don't care. My water bill's high. Why are your automobile costs gone up? How about your insurance rates? Why have they gone up in this last little 3.5 year to 4 year stint of these Democrats in charge? Why? Because inflation that they have brought on through government spending. You know you're paying twice. You know inflation means you pay twice. You pay twice. You're paying for the increased cost of your goods because of inflation, and you're also paying because the inflation dollars came from government. Climate change legislation, infrastructure legislation, all this trillions they spend that they tax you. So you're paying for that And then the inflation is making you pay again. Double. I'm worried about my water bill, but you keep checking the D in the boxes. You keep putting these liberals on the school boards. You keep putting these liberals on the city councils. All of this. Your votes are costing you all of this money. What do you think conservatism, what do you think conserve means? Versus liberalism in spending liberally. What the hell do you think that means? You want me to keep going about the shape of the country and all these things? All of that stimulus money, all of that was going to go to charging stations and bridges. You know how much of that's been done? Virtually nothing.
Yeah, no kidding.
Virtually nothing has been done with that spending. People were rewarded. It went into their pockets, their businesses, the donors, the industrial complex, sending this hardware to Ukraine and stuff. It's where it's going, and you're paying for it. You check the D in the box. D means debt. That's what it means. Our national debt's gone up in the last 4 years. The list just keeps going on and on and on by what's happened here, and you keep pushing the banana further up your rectum, further and further up, and you are doing it, not others. You are, by your vote. You're doing it. You're the one supporting these people. You're backing the unions. You're backing these longshoremen with your vote. You're backing all these Democratic-supported places that are ramming that banana further up your body every day. And until you wake up and understand how this all works, it will never change. It will never change. So keep worrying about your water bill and don't worry about anything else that's affecting you, your family, and your future in this country. You know, we don't have, folks, I thought of this yesterday. I'm listening to this attack on Israel. We're spending trillions of dollars on all this stuff. Transgender surgeries for prisoners. You voted for it. You're paying for all that. People convicted of murder and molestation and rape, and they want to change their gender, and you have to pay the bill. Kamala Harris supports it. She's a D. You vote for that. Is that stupid? We're paying for all this stuff. You know, folks, we don't have one Patriot or any other type of missile defense system set up anywhere in the United States around any of our cities. None. Zero. New York, Philly, Washington, D.C. We don't have any of these missile defense systems like Israel has or other countries have. They have them over there set up near the Red Sea where our troops are. We have nothing protecting America. Nothing. And now all these countries, Korea, Iran, Russia, China, they've all developed hypersonic ballistic missiles that can go 8,000 miles and at speeds that we can't comprehend that can reach our cities. You know, we don't have one single missile system set up anywhere in America. Not one. To protect us or our cities. Not one. Not one. That's stupid.
Yes, it is.
But we're paying for the war in the Ukraine, and we're sending money to the supreme leader of Iran. Start thinking, folks, before you circle the D. Would you just please think it out? Use your head. He says some bad things sometimes about people. Okay, so do I. So do you. So does everybody. What's better for your family, your country, and your future? That's the question. Think about it. The end.
All right. First news coming up, 20 after 6.
The Breakfast Flakes podcast brought to you by the Blue Cat Bar and Grill. Next to the Roadside Event Center in Huntley. The Blue Cat. It's where it's at.
Most tax pros leave a message.
It's Jane. I'm moving on to a TurboTax expert who beat your price. Adam Devine, tell him how I feel.
Hey, tax pro, she's been thinking twice. Best believe TurboTax will beat your price. This is a tax break.
Switch to a TurboTax Live expert and we'll beat what you paid your pro last tax season. Make the switch at TurboTax.com/beatyourprice. TurboTax full service only. Sign up by 12/20/2024 and file by 4/1/2025. Full details at TurboTax.com/beatyourprice.